What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are in the shop and we're gonna be working on the two buggy go-kart TJ thing. So in the last video that y'all saw on this, I had took the body off of this 97 TJ with a 4.0 automatic transmission and then a 231 transfer case with the slip yoke eliminator. I took the body off and just kind of went over a few things, a few ideas. And since that last video, what I have done is just grinded down all the rust and dirt and everything on the frame and just tried to get it back as non-rusty as possible. But I did find a lot more issues than what I was expecting. So some of the things that I found definitely wrong with this was, the first thing is this massive crack in the frame right there at the control arm mount. And it's got a crack over here. Well, it's not really a crack anymore, it's more of a hole. And then you can see right here where whoever did this patch job didn't finish welding. So I've got to finish welding all that. Something else that I found was this crack right here. It looks like where they welded to this patch and they put a new mount on. They didn't weld it very good. They didn't finish welding it and then it started cracking. So I've got to fix that. I've got to fix this. And I don't think it's cracking over here on this side. Well, yeah, maybe it's a crack right there. So this side of the frame really isn't as bad as that side, but it's still pretty bad. I did try to clean up everything, but you can see it's kind of just pitted all around. I mean, this is like the surface of the moon right there with all the rust pits all in there, but that's fine. I think we can cover that up with some Steel-It and some Rust-Oleum. So what I think I'm going to start doing tonight is I'm going to start just welding this frame back up, and hopefully I can get it all tacked up. So like I'm going to have to bring that piece all the way back over. This frame is a huge piece of crap. I realize that, but I don't really need anything else for this than a bad frame. So I feel like it's perfect for it. And then Patrick's over here not helping me at all, working on his Jeep.
More important stuff.
Yeah. Wait, that don't look like 5 looks. So I don't know if y'all remember this Jeep from a couple of, was it about a year ago?
Almost.
About a year ago, we built Patrick's Jeep on the channel. We put a cab fab long arm on, and then we put lockers front and rear. We did a truss in the front. And we did some rust repair, and we did pretty much everything cab fab underneath it. And then like a week after we did all that, the motor started knocking.
It's still knocking.
It's still knocking.
But now we got tons and 40s.
Yeah, so instead of fixing the motor, we put 1 tons and 40s underneath it. But I'm gonna do a whole video on this Jeep. I didn't record us putting the 1 tons and 40s on just because we kind of did this off camera. We kind of took a break after we got back from the Beast Wars in Myrtle Beach. We just took, we put the camera down and just started working on this because we were just basically tired of cameras in our face. But I'm going to do a walk around video because this is probably the cheapest way you can do a 1 ton swap on an XJ. And we're going to go through all the prices and everything like that and definitely put a video out on this Jeep. So one thing that I want to do tonight on this is I want to go ahead and bob this frame. So I know I'm not going to need anything past this point right here. So what I'm probably going to do is cut the frame straight right here. And another reason I want to do that is because I believe this frame is just full of rust. So I want to try to get all this mess out. That way I can get this frame as clean as possible on the inside. So I got these safety glasses from Matt from BleepinJeep, and I feel like I look like PC Principal from South Park. You know what I'm talking about?
Macho Man.
Hey bro, I'm the new principal of the school. My name's PC Principal.
All right, so I'm gonna put the camera down and get to work. Do these give off Mr. Roger vibes?
Quiet.
He's got my Mr. Rogers vibe. Give them my Mr. Rogers.
This is reason number one why you should clean out your frame. Look at all this that came out. There's a bunch of spiders in it too. Like that dude came out. Like this little dude came out of it. There was another one in there too. And this was in there also. I guess that was for the cross member. But man, this is... So you can kind of look in here and see like what the inside of a frame could potentially look like, which is haunting. Holy crap. That is really bad. Holy crap. That's nuts. So I tried to get as much crust as I could out from this frame, and you can kind of see in there, it's not terrible in there now, but this is pretty bad. I can still hear some in the center. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but for the most part, the bobbed frame right here, I think it's pretty sick. And I may put a piece of metal across it, kind of make a bumper in the rear. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do. Obviously I got a lot more to figure out before a rear bumper on this, but what I think I'm gonna do now is just go and finish welding up all these patches right here, because these patches are pretty terrible. I feel like Patch Adams would be a good name for this. Remember that movie?
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams, it's the new name. So what I did right here was, to fill in these gaps, I just beat them down with a hammer, and you can kind of see how they look terrible, but that's okay. I'm just gonna fill this in with weld, just because I know this frame is pretty much garbage, but I don't want it to turn to complete garbage. And then I'm probably just gonna try to maybe cut this out and patch it up. I don't know just yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding all this, and then we'll jump on that patch. So you can see right here, I've got everything kind of just filled in with weld, and it is not very pretty at all, but it's filled in, and maybe it won't rust any more than it already has. So now I'm gonna jump over to this section right here. Now I have some options. I could, oh crap, my finger's stuck. I could go ahead and cut this whole section out. Probably not going to do that. I could just plate over it and forget about it. And I think we know which one I'm going to do. So I got this plate right here, and we're going to be covering it all up and forgetting about it. And I just found a piece of metal. I don't even know what this is from, but it kind of fits. So that's what we're going to be welding on right here. All right. So there's really no science to this. I'm just literally covering up a bad situation with some metal. If this was a Jeep that my kids were going to be riding on the road in, I would definitely not recommend this. But for what it is, it'll work just fine. So what I plan on doing, since this is straight and this kind of has a bevel to it, I'm going to tack weld the top of this on here like that, and then I'm going to fill in this rosette weld, and then I'm going to beat the crap out of the bottom with a hammer. Let's see how this turns out. All right, so I have this plate all welded up. I did spray behind everything with some weldable spray paint just to make sure it didn't rust behind it, but I found a crack right here, so I just welded that, and I actually kind of just punched out the rust hole and then put a piece of 3/16 metal over it. And that's how I did that. And then I fixed the cracks over there, and I fixed another crack over there. So yeah, I think we're getting somewhere now. Still haven't cleaned this crap up. Patrick still hasn't cleaned this crap up. But, so now I think what I'm gonna do is I need to start figuring out where I want my seats and stuff to go. So honestly, I'm in kind of a dilemma because I don't know where I want my seats to go, because I don't know where I want my steering wheel to go, and because I don't know where my brake booster needs to go, and then I don't know where I want my cage to go. So there's like a million different things that I'm having to foreshadow and kind of think ahead. That way I don't permanently mount the seats right here and then have to move them because my steering wheel won't reach or something like that. I kind of want just to get everything mocked up. I kind of want to just get everything mocked up close to where I can kind of get everything to work and just kind of go from there. Because as expensive as DOM tubing is, once I make this cage, that's it. I'm not gonna, like, once I make the cage, that's the cage that I'm gonna use. I don't care if I mess up, I'm gonna use it. That's probably some foreshadowing right here. So these are the seats that I'm probably going to be running for right now. These are out of a Polaris Razor. I actually bought them from a buddy of mine, and they're kind of they're okay seats, but I think this is kind of where I want everything to go. So I'm going to have the gas pedal somewhere right here, and then the brake pedal somewhere right here. But they're going to have to be pretty close because I want that brake booster on the inside of my tubes. And I want this to be a very narrow two-seater go-kart tube thing. So I want these seats as low and close as possible. And I just got a piece of metal that I'm probably going to use. I'm just kind of sitting on them and my jack handle right here. But to be honest with you, this feels pretty good. The only thing that I'm really worried about is that great big brake booster, because I mean that thing is this big, and you know it's going to have to be right above my brake pedal. So my gas may have to be a little bit closer to the exhaust, because of course everything on these 4.0s, exhaust and the intake is on the driver's side, which is where I'm going to be, and where the steering wheel and gas pedal and brake pedal is. So basically everything on this vehicle that is important is going to be on the driver's side. We should just make it right-hand drive. I think I can, you know, the steering wheel about right here, and then I want to have some sort of, you know, I'm going to have a tube, almost like a tube firewall right here, so I can mount everything like switches. I can mount like switches, my dash, my gauges and stuff like that. So I got my crash test dummy up here, and we actually moved the seat back 6 inches, and me and Patrick are about the same height, and you got a lot more room now, don't you?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
Yeah, so now like before, like the gas pedal felt like appropriate like right here, but now I can put the gas pedal back here, and my steering wheel shaft I won't have to cut down. So after I did some measurements and kind of some mocking up, I think this is somewhere, I just kind of got it zip tied like poorly right now, but this needs to go in this direction right here. But this needs to be about 2 inches higher, just to give me a little bit more room for my steering shaft, because where my steering shaft meets it's got this U-joint right here, and it's kind of, it's got grease all over me, but it's kind of large. And so this model came with an ABS system, and I really don't like it. I can't stand how it's just got spaghetti brake lines right here. I thought about just removing the ABS and just running all new brake lines, and then I thought about just seeing if I can just massage these brake lines in order and make them neater, but that's just way too much brake line for right here, when I could just bypass it, because I don't really care if I have ABS on this thing or not. Just bypass it and then just make all new brake lines for it, which is probably what I'm going to do. But until then, I'm just going to be fighting with this because I'm too stubborn. But I don't know. I could just put a plate over this so you can't see it, but I'll just know it's there and it'll just aggravate me. But let me show you what I did do. So I found this piece of metal in my scrap metal bin, and I cut about a 2.5 inch hole with a plasma cutter, and then drilled out some other holes. And check this out. So this goes like that. Stay. So what I plan on doing is making some supports that go all the way down to that lower control arm bracket, and it's going to come up and it's going to intersect with this. And so with brake systems like this, especially a pedal, you want 2 places of contact, if not 3 places of contact, so that whenever you press the brake pedal, you know it's not just going to crack and rip. And, you know, say if I only did this one right here, you know, eventually, you know, it would probably start just kind of torquing a little bit, and then eventually it'll crack and fall off. So it's a couple of nights later, I'm in the shop, and I think I'm gonna have to make some changes, and I really didn't want to, but let me show you. So before, I knew I was talking about running this Willys grill right here, and so I kind of got overwhelmed with everything up there, so I was like, well, I'll just work on getting this grill mounted. And I was really wanting to attach this radiator to this grill, but obviously it's just not working like I would want it to. I'm gonna have to cut this Willys grill in order for this radiator to mount. And then I started thinking, I really don't want to cut on this grill. I really don't, because I have the whole original Jeep that this came out of behind my shop. So I was thinking, you know, if I cut this grill up, I may regret it one day. So I had an idea. I was like, let me go get the stock grill that was in this Jeep and throw it in, because I know the radiator would bolt into that. And let me throw this stock grill in here, and let me show you what it looks like with the stock grill. I feel like that looks better. I don't know why. I like this better. I don't know. I feel like this one just fits the build better. Maybe it's just because it's a little wider. I don't know. I did order some lights just like I did on my LJ. I'm going to be putting those in. So I'm going to have yellow lights. That's kind of like what I did on dead plates. I'm going to be putting yellow headlights in, and I may be doing something different with this grill. But the radiator obviously bolts right up to it because it's the grill that came out of it. But I don't know. I feel like that is 1,000,000 times better. And then I don't have to cut up that grill. And if I decide to build that, whenever I decide to build the Willys behind my shop, I have the grill. So jumping back to the brake pedal placement, I don't want to put my brake pedals in until I get my seats in. And I don't know how I'm going to run my seats until I figure out how I can mount my seats. So I went on eBay and I searched for something. I looked for 2019 Razor 1000 seat bracket, and one popped up for like $60, and I could have it in 2 days. So I bought it, and check it out. Sitting right here. I literally bought this like a night ago in my shop, or 2 nights ago. So what's cool about this is obviously it's metal, and I can cut it to wherever I need it, and then I can basically set my mounts to work with the seat on the frame, and then there's my seat brackets. So the biggest issue with these Razor seats that I got is you got to have this little weird looking bolt thing that slides into the seats. So maybe Razor seats weren't the best seats for this, but everything I got pretty cheap, so I'm just gonna kind of go with it. So now I'm gonna take the seats off and put this on here and basically see how well this is gonna work. So the seats went on perfectly, and it's pretty much squared. I just got to move the seats over just a little bit. Like if you look at the Jeep dead on, the seats need to go this way just a hair. The seats need to come forward about 6 inches, and the transfer case is now in the way. So I'm gonna have to cut this bracket and just kind of make a cross member so that it can slide forward. All I did was I just cut out that center section and then took a bunch of measurements, and then I just kind of made a simple bracket that just goes right across. I've got to finish welding that, and then so that goes perfectly nicely over that slip yoke eliminator, and I've got to get it lined back up where it was. Yeah, somewhere like that. And then for the rear section, I think for right now I'm just going to put some 3/16 metal all the way across it, and then I'm going to bolt this to this metal, and then I'm going to come in and put some structure, add some strips, and add some structure to this piece of metal right here. And that's going to do, it's going to hold the seats, it's going to protect the passengers if in case this drive shaft breaks. I'll have some stuff right here where, nothing will fly up and hurt any of the passengers. But yeah, I'm pretty tickled with that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just tack weld. Like I'm going to tack weld this to the frame for right now, and tack weld this to that piece of metal, and just tack weld everything. And then for the front right here, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to find some square tubing or something and just run inside of this and weld it up just to give it some strength. There's plenty of places to weld on top, so just run something in there, weld to it on top just to give it just a little bit more rigidity, just because that is kind of that's just got a little too many holes for my liking. But it probably would be fine, but I feel like it just needs a little bit more structure up here. So I'll probably add something a little bit later on before I go off-roading or anything like that. But for now, I'm going to put the seats in, make sure it's where I want it, and then I'm probably going to tack weld this up and call it a night. This is seriously cool. I'm not mad about this. And I realize that this metal in the rear is way too thin, but like I said, I'm going to come back and put some bracing right here, and I'll probably go ahead and tack weld this together right now, but I want some structure in here just to tie all this in together. But the reason I wanted side-by-side or Razor seats is because the simplicity of just taking the seats out. So if I ever got to wash this thing, service it, whatever, all I have to do is just reach my hand behind here, pull the tab, and the seats come out. Just like that. And same way, they go back in.